The Pentagon tonight not commenting on a New York Times report that Russian submarines are operating aggressively near undersea cables between particularly the United States and Europe and the United States and Asia. But U.S. Navy officials, speaking to Fox News, say they haven't seen this kind of Russian naval activity since the Cold War. Military commanders, previously concerned about the Russians tapping into these cables, now are expressing the concern that they might be cut those cables rather than simply tapped into. The location of the undersea cables, not a secret certainly. Most of them are owned and operated by large telecommunication companies and companies that include Google. The cables carry $10 trillion a day in global business and 95% of the world's communications. There are over 500,000 miles of undersea cables, enough to wrap around the world some 70 times. Joining us now, John Hanna. He's the Foundation for Defense of Democracy's senior counselor and former Cheney National Security Advisor. John, good to have you here. Former Pentagon official, Fox News national security analyst, KT McFarland. KT, good to have you here. Let's start with the idea suddenly that our military has divined and our intelligence the prospect of a threat to the cables themselves now. What do you make of it?
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, we do the same thing. We've done the same thing to them in the past. And when I was in the Nixon administration, it was called Operation Ivy Bells, and we listened to their communications.
Right.
So the question is, are they listening or is they doing something else about it? Are they going to potentially disrupt our communications, or are they going to hack into them and somehow disorder some of our communications?
John, what has raised the prospect, though, that they would seek to cut these cables? And my second question would be, why in the world wouldn't that always be one of the possibilities that you would assign to your enemy's strategists?
Well, I think this is all a piece, Lou, with the general push that Putin is making to challenge American interests all around the world, to show that he can hold at risk some of the most important American assets, to show that he's got tremendous leverage over us. And he wants things from the United States, including he wants those sanctions off. But he wants to show that he can push the United States around and really hold us at risk.
Is there any doubt that that is precisely what he is doing, KT? Because this is a president who said he was going to bring Putin to his knees as he crushed the economy of the Russian nation. We have not seen that occur.
No, and it may not, because if oil prices start moving around, maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe the opposite happens. Look, we are getting pushed around.
But effectively, would that not be? And this is one of the things that stuns me. If somebody were saying to us, we're going to crush your economy, we're going to place sanctions on you, that would be an act of war. I haven't heard one commentator in this country say, you know, maybe Obama went just a little too far or egregiously too far.
Well, or set a red line that he wasn't intending to enforce.
Oh, yeah, well.
I mean, one
his
step or another.
history with red lines is not exactly unimpeachable.
But when we say, well, Putin is pushing the United States out of the Middle East, no, he's not. He's just opened the door and we're happily glancing, we're dashing through it. Obama doesn't want to be in the Middle East. And so we're now no longer in a position to help shape events.
All right. John, is it your judgment that he's gone too far, that we have that this administration has put at risk our national security in ways that apparently his national security team, his advisors, and he himself did not even come close to envisioning?
Yeah, I think there's no question, Lou, that the president's general retrenchment from the world has been read as weakness by our adversaries. And when he has taken action against them, as you note, he hasn't been serious. He's hit them hard enough to make it hurt, but not hard enough to actually get the job done. And their response has been to fight back, to punch back, and then to keep punching. And they don't feel any resistance right now. So I think this is when things begin to get really dangerous, when you have two nuclear powers, one misreading the other, believing that they're weak and that they'll continue to back up. And when you finally have to fight back, that's when miscalculations happen and very dangerous things can happen, especially when nuclear weapons are involved.
Geopolitically, it is inconceivable that this administration would not understand that they are carrying out effectively an act of war by creating these sanctions and trying to reduce a nuclear power to something, I can't even imagine what went through this president's mind. What we're seeing is a reflex and a response, whether it's the South China Sea, where it is the building of, on the part of China, now allied with Russia, whether it is the construction of new bases in the Arctic by Russia, the revitalization, the refurbishment of at least 6 Soviet-era bases in the Arctic. And this president is not responding at all.
Well, the problem that you have is inconsistency, where on one hand he's making the speeches, but on the other hand he's not backing it up. And that's where the problem comes.
Well, there's nothing for him to back up.
Well, he could. He's just not doing it. And so we're getting pushed. And Putin will continue to push until he meets resistance. And the question then becomes, what kind of resistance? Does Obama push it to the point? Does Putin push it to the point? Nobody knows what the other side's doing, and that's what's
Well, we know what one side's doing. We're watching Vladimir Putin right now embarrass the United States on the world stage. Are we not, John?
I certainly think that's the case. I hate to say it, but I don't think the man in the White House, the only person who really counts, sees it that way. He thinks he's playing some great game of three-dimensional chess. Putin is being drawn into a quagmire in Syria, a quagmire in Ukraine, that he beats his chest like a macho man, but none of it really matters. And he's the guy who's got the weak economy. He's dependent on oil. Prices are low. He doesn't do anything else in terms of his economic production, and he's going to lose this match.
Economically, and I'd like you both very quickly, we're out of time, but I'd like you both to respond to this. If you are watching what is happening to oil, you're watching Putin expand his power in the region which has command over so much of the world's resources. Wouldn't that concern you greatly, that any conflict would create a benefit, an economic benefit for Russia in the world oil market? KT?
Absolutely. Now, what happens if there's a conflict in the Middle East? The price of oil gets up, and the Middle East oil doesn't get to market. Guess whose oil does get to market? Russia's. They're a win-win situation.
John, you get the last word.
Yeah, no, I think they love conflict. And don't forget, they're right on the doorstep now of Saudi Arabia. They've got leverage on the Saudis, military power, and they know the Saudis can start cutting production, getting that price of oil up. So there's a Saudi-Russian play here, too.
John, thanks so much. John Hanna, KT, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Be sure to vote in our poll tonight. The question is, do you believe that law enforcement and everyone who supports them should be boycotting everything Quentin Tarantino does? Cast your vote at LouDobbs.com. And I'd like you to connect with me on social media. Please follow me on Twitter at Lou Dobbs News. Go to our Facebook page. Go to Facebook, Lou Dobbs Tonight. Links to everything found at LouDobbs.com.